Hudson Bros. My name is Marissa Ferrara, and I'm a faculty member at the College of Charleston. One of the delightful things I get to do is teach students about how to understand the Google algorithm, how to market for small businesses. And so we kind of picked your business as one of the sample ones. And so I figured I would pay it forward and offer you the tips and tricks that I would implement if I were to move forward with your company to help it grow. So if you have all of the customers you need, then certainly set this aside. But if you're curious about how the Google algorithm works and strategies that you might want to implement, you can do these tips on your own. You can, if you have a marketing department, you can outsource it to them and get feedback. Or if you want somebody like me to help you out in the summer months, please let me know. So again, if you have all the customers you need, just set this aside. But if not, sit back and relax. So first things first, the website. Love the logo, love the font, you can tell you've invested some time and money into the site. It flows. You've got the contact, right? Like all of these buttons are doing what they should be doing, which is amazing. And then the other thing I check for is a couple of things that help with the algorithm. So you want to think through, like, Google's job is to keep somebody like me happy and coming back to use it. And so it's trying to determine, when I, as a customer, go to look for lawn care in Somerville, I am looking, I type that in and Google's trying to figure out what to put in front of me. And so it is scrolling through all of the different websites. And one of the things it looks for is to take seriously is the amount of words on your website. So you want to do a keyword, you want to do just in general a word count and make sure you have 1,500 words on each page of your website. That is going to help Google kind of rank you more seriously than other websites. So that would be step one. Step two, you want to think about the types of words that somebody like me would search for in your industry. So, and the type of customer you want. So do you want people who really care about pest control? Do you want people who are more interested in landscape installation, or you're trying to get more into sod? So depending on the type of customer you want to think through what that customer might search for and make sure those words are added into your website throughout your website, plus the word Somerville. I mean, you've done a really good job ranking in Somerville, but you also mentioned Charleston area. So being strategic about where, Mount Pleasant, Charleston, North Charleston, Moncks Corner, right? We are a growing area. So making sure, if you want to expand, making sure those words are throughout your website. So that is, in general, keywords is really important. The other thing here is all words right now. So the algorithm ranks font and hyperlinks differently. So right now, these words are ranked with more priority than these words. And what I would do is add some hyperlinks in here so that these are linking to other places on your website, because you have a really nice website. But that will trigger to Google that sod installation is not just the words on your website, but it's something that you really value and you want your customers to know about it. So I would go back in, I would add these hyperlinks here to other places on your website, or even to Wikipedia or other resources throughout the internet, to let people know. And more importantly, let Google know that is something that you prioritize. So that would be tip number 2 on your website. The other thing is, I noticed you're hit or miss on your images. So some of your images are saved as your company name, as Somerville, and then you have all of these stock photo images. And that's a typical thing that people do when they design a website. What you want to go do is redo your saves. So you want to save these as keywords. You're missing out on a huge opportunity to increase your algorithm output. So resave these as lawn care, sod, installation, pest control, whatever services you want to provide, and make sure you tag it with Somerville, Moncks Corner, the industry area that you want to serve. So that would be my tips and tricks for your website. Now, when I go to lawn care Somerville, this is really fun for me. I love this area. So, right. So like and I've done social media, and I do Google ads and Facebook ads and things like that. But this area to me is as a consumer where I go to get my information. And right now, Coastal, if I ignore their sponsored ad, Coastal Turf, is beating out, is outranking you in terms of the Google map. So, and I typed in lawn care Somerville. You might want to, maybe you're more interested in pest control. So I could certainly rerun this information and give you more specific information if I were to have a conversation with you. But lawn care Somerville, when I scroll, right, I get down to, where are you? You're down here. So Hudson Bros Lawn Care. And a lot of people ask me, like, how does this happen? Why am I low in the rankings? What do I need to do? And the answer is really simple. It's something anybody can do. A lot of people think it requires like massive coding knowledge, and it doesn't. This whole map area is based on where you're registered as an official business in online directories. So Angie's List, Facebook, LinkedIn, Chamber of Commerce, that is what gets you this area. If you go to whitespark.com, they offer kind of a free option so you can use it and put your company name in there, and then put in Pro Trim, Lawn Doctor of Charleston, put in all of these names and see where they are registered as a formal business. And then you go through and you just sit there and you register in the same places that they are, and you will see your name rise in the ranks as you start to outcite them essentially throughout the internet. So that would be step 2. And I mean, to me, I love doing that. I'll do that all day for different companies. So that'd be step number 2, as well as making sure you've got some images over here, making sure those images again are saved in the, not just random image, but saved specifically for keywords that I would search for. So that would be step number 2. Step number 3 is more about the organic search. So when I typed in, lawn care Somerville, and then this is the Google map output that we already talked about. And this area is the organic search findings. So a lot of people scroll down to this area because they figure that Google has already prioritized the companies that they need to look into. And so Lawn Love is number 1. And so I just want to show you what your kind of output is. And you have a nice traffic value over here. I use Ahrefs. It's a paid marketing information site where I can put in all of the different companies and get a general gist of what the output looks like. You can go to Google Business and get your information on this. But you right now have 156 keywords on your website. Again, those hyperlinks and adding more content will help increase your organic keywords that are there. And certainly somebody like me can look into seeing what the competition is ranking for. That's what like search engine optimization is all about, is figuring out the keywords and strategizing around building them into your website. The other thing, though, is referring domains. And this is a really great way to increase your online presence in general. So referring domains are the different places throughout the internet that your company is mentioned on a blog or a website, HOA page, somebody else's Facebook page. That is what you want to go after to increase that organic ranking. And so right now you're registered, like basically 34 different websites have mentioned you, creating 90 different backlinks to your website. And so I would increase this, get city paper releases, right? There's all different strategies that you can go. I just want to just mention that not all referring domains are created equal according to Google. So another company might have way more referring domains than you, but they're not weighed as equally. So my example is from a teaching perspective. If one of my students wants to go to graduate school, if I write a letter of recommendation as their main professor and somebody else writes a letter of recommendation, if they were like their guidance counselor back in 8th grade, my letter is going to have more credibility because of who I am and how recently I've experienced them. Whereas, that other reference from that guidance counselor would be valuable, but it's not as valuable. And so you want to keep in mind that the referring domains are not weighed equally. So you kind of want to be strategic about a referring domain is good no matter what, but they don't track as well without some strategy behind it. So hopefully this was helpful. Those are my tips and tricks to helping you succeed and move forward. Again, you're already doing, it looks like a really great job as a business, but if you were kind of curious about what kind of this little thing is and what happens here, then certainly, hopefully I helped you out there. If you have any questions or want my help over the summer months, please let me know. Thank you. Bye.